I am not one for New Year's resolutions. And when it comes to money, I like to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. So I'm pretty good at the stuff I do anyway. However, there are some habits which I have formed over the years. I want to ensure I keep going in 2025. And by sharing them with you, that might be something that could give you some inspiration for those resolutions of your own, or just a reminder of some of those things that you keep meaning to do, but don't always get around to. So the first thing that I am going to make sure I keep doing in 2025 is tracking my money. Now, I didn't actually really ever do this. Back when I first started Be Clever with Your Cash 10 years ago, I did a whole year of tracking every single thing I spent and every single thing I saved. But that was more to kind of show what being clever with your cash could do, how much more you could get for your salary. But broadly speaking, I always earned more than I spent, so it wasn't too much of an issue. But a few years ago, when I sold the business, I obviously started becoming a salary for running the site. And that meant that I got more money coming in than I normally would. Which again, you think, well, why would you start budgeting when you've got more money coming in? But my fear was actually lifestyle creep. This is where, because I've got more money, I worry less about it. So I spend more, and then that leads to overspending and losing track of exactly where things are going. So for the last sort of year or so, I've actually been every single month going into a spreadsheet and putting all my spending down and categorizing it that way. Yes, there are apps that can do this for you, but I quite like going through it and doing it myself because it makes me actively look at what I am doing and what I'm spending and where it's going, rather than just sort of seeing some broad kind of concept within an app. Plus, a lot of those apps charge you for it now. So that's something I'm absolutely going to keep doing this year. Really, really helpful. Holidays, meals out, transport, all that kind of stuff. Really understand where I'm spending, potentially where I'm overspending, where I might need to rein things in. The next habit that I'm going to continue as well follows on from that, and that's talking to my wife about our finances. Being the money geek that I am and doing what I do, I'm the one who often takes a lot more responsibility for some of our big spending decisions. Probably not big spending decisions, but certainly those kind of where our bills are, switching those kind of things, making sure which credit card we're using has got the best rate, the best cashback rates or whatever it might be, the best offers, all that kind of stuff. And there's always a danger there that if one person does all those kind of things, pays all the bills, looks at where the money's going, all that kind of stuff, the other person can kind of themselves completely lose track of what's going on. And obviously it's our money. It's something we earn separately, but then we put it together for our spending goals and so on. So what we both do, not only do I do that spreadsheet, but my wife does that as well. And every month we'll go through it and have a look at where we're spending so we can together keep on track of it. Now, it is not the most fun activity, obviously, but it is really, really important to do that. So we're going to keep doing that this year, making sure that, again, that lifestyle creep doesn't mean we're wasting money effectively and haven't got better places to put that cash. Now, another habit, really, really simple here. This is to save every single month. If you don't get a habit in place here, it's very easy to just not do it and think, oh, you get around to it, but then accidentally spend that cash that's in your account. So what I will do is I have a number of regular savers set up, and every single month money will go through to those. Now, there is obviously the benefit of that regular saving activity, that monthly activity, so money is always moving over. But there's the additional benefit that these regular savers are often the highest paying accounts out there. So right now I've got a 10% one from Virgin. Sadly, that is closed to new customers. I've also got one paying 7% with First Direct and 6.25% from Lloyds and a 6.17% from NatWest. All those every month. Money goes in between the two of us, goes in there, earning a nice rate of money. And it means we are definitely putting some of our spare cash into savings rather than letting it just languish there in a current account, not earning much to, or being spent thinking we have more available to us than we absolutely do. Now, if you want more information about those top regular savers, head over to becleverwithyourcash.com where we have a best buy guide just on those different accounts. You can pick the ones that are best for you. Sticking with savings, the other habit I want to keep an eye on is to keep an eye on those different rates. Now, that's pretty easy for me to do, I suppose, because myself and the team every single day, we're updating our best buy tables at becleverwithyourcash.com/savings. So we're seeing those every day where the movements are. But it's going to be particularly important in 2025 for a couple of reasons. One, we do expect the Bank of England to make some rate cuts this year. Could only be a couple, could be more. These things change all the time. Obviously, we update you on those announcements every 6 weeks, so you know what to do. But if those rates are going to change and go down, there is obviously that potential for those easy access accounts or anything with a variable rate account we have our money in could drop down by the actual base rate cut or even by more. Again, these variable rates can change at any time. As we've seen recently with some of those banks like Chase, which are linked to tracker rates, they're changing the tracker rate as well as changing falling when the base rate falls, so additional cuts. So keeping an eye on those to make sure our money is getting the best rate it can. But also I've got some fixed rate accounts that are due to mature this year. So I need to make sure that when they do mature, that I'm putting them into a better paying, the best paying accounts I can right now. If it is even a savings account, it could be I decide to put that money elsewhere, whether it's into my pension or investing or overpaying on the mortgage. Now, my next habit, number 5, is linked to that. I am going to put more money into investments. Right now, we don't have any major expenses coming up. There's nothing that we have planned to spend for, though our house can sometimes be a bit of a money pit. So who knows what 2025 will bring. Hopefully this will be a clear year for us. But broadly speaking, we've got our emergency funds available to us to cover things. That means I can put more money, as well as that stuff going into those high-paying regular savers. I can start to put more money into investings for that longer-term returns. That's something which I've not necessarily done a huge amount in the past because I haven't had that spare cash, but certainly over the last few years, trying to put more and more into that kind of form of funding. Again, could be investments, could be pension, more likely to be a mix of the two. Now, this next habit is something which is so easy to do, and I really urge you guys to do something like this as well. And it's when I spend, to earn money when I spend. Now, that's either from cashback sites or cashback cards, or potentially both of them. But yeah, this is something that has earned me hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of pounds, probably over the years combined between the two. So I'm getting cashback on my bills via my Santander current account. I'm getting cashback on my spending from the likes of American Express or Chase debit or credit cards. And I'm getting cashback from Quidco or Top Cashback on those items which are available there. Plus potentially earning cashback from the likes of airtime. And sometimes, don't do this a lot, but sometimes on my supermarket shopping, using apps like Cheddar or Hyperjar to buy gift cards, which also have cashback, which can give me sort of 3 to 6% back on the grocery shopping as well. I tend not to use them for other things because if you want to return something, then you're getting a refund as a gift card. So I'm not the biggest fan there. But broadly speaking, I will make back hundreds of pounds each year. Do that combination of things. That is a habit that I'm absolutely going to stick with throughout this year. Now, habit number 7 is linked to that, part of that at least as well. You might have noticed I mentioned about using cashback credit cards. Again, it does vary depending on what rate I'm getting and what time what I use, but I am often using an American Express for a lot of my purchases. But with any kind of credit card, it's so vital that the balance is paid in full every single month, because if you don't, you get charged interest. And if you forget to pay it, in any of it at all, then you're also going to get penalty charges and also potentially a black mark on your credit file. So it's so vital. And I do this all the time. I have direct debits, moving money from my main current account to my credit card every month for the full amount, so I don't get charged anything. And I think it's a really good habit to get into. Now, if you are doing that, then you also need to obviously make sure there is enough money in your current account to cover that spending as well. So you need to be in the habit of just having a note in your diary, or when then they get a notification from the credit card company that how much they're going to take out, that you do ensure there is money in the current account. Because if not, you might get overdrawn, or they might not make the payment and then you get hit with all those penalties. But really a good habit, pay it completely every single month so you don't get charged anything. Next up, number 8, is to avoid Amazon. Now, this is a habit that I've been got into a couple of years ago. I think it was 2021. I did a year without Amazon. I thought it would be a challenge. I thought it would be difficult to do this, but actually it was really easy, really simple for me to avoid it. And not only that, it ends up saving me money for a couple of reasons. One of them was there wasn't that initial outlay for Amazon Prime, which most people will go for if they're shopping with Amazon, because I think it makes it easier and gives them free delivery and things. But also it made me shop around. So I actually found a number of things I wanted to buy were for the same price, if not less, elsewhere. And again, over a certain amount, the larger expensive things, then delivery didn't really come into it anyway. But also, and this was the big money saver, by not having Amazon Prime, by trying to deliberately avoid going to Amazon, it meant I bought less things. There's this kind of thing, you go to Amazon, you scroll through all the deals, see all the offers, and you think, oh, that looks interesting, that looks cheap, you buy it. And just give this a try. If you just ditch it for a month and see how you go, maybe 2 months, you can always come back when there's something you need to buy, whether it's really good offer on Amazon or you really need it now, like same day delivery, which you can get in some parts of the country, then maybe you sign up again for 1 month. And then you can cancel it again. You don't need it all year round. I promise you, give this a try. Appreciate some of you in more remote areas of the country or can't get out of the house as much or whatever it might be. There might be reasons why some people, it is important to stick with Amazon Prime. But broadly speaking, if you want to give it a go, I urge you to do that. Now, it's not a complete divorce. As I said, there might be times where I do need something last minute and I might have to sort of go back to Amazon for it, or a particularly good offer, or something, a TV series I really want to watch. But broadly speaking, I try to avoid Amazon for as much as I can in 2025, if not completely and put my money elsewhere, ideally local shops on the high street, but if not, at least other retailers who do pay their tax. Now, the last habit that I'm going to keep in 2025 is probably the one which is I do struggle with a little bit. It's harder for me to do this. And this is to spend less time looking for a bargain. Now, I enjoy finding a bargain. It's partly what makes my job so enjoyable when we do the deals of the week every Thursday in our newsletter and on Fridays on our Instagram and other socials. Finding these special deals, letting you know about them. But I also like looking things for myself. And also when I do need to buy something, is making sure I'm getting the best possible price and the best possible value for money. And that is a good thing to do, right? I definitely urge you all to do it because, again, all those little savings that you can make will add up over the year. But the problem I have sometimes is spending too much time looking into those details for saving 10 pence potentially. Or, in the past, I don't do this. I hope I don't do this anymore. I remember when I was buying like a new toaster and spending hours on the Which website comparing all these different toasters, when really they're all the same thing, right? And the prices are roughly the same. So if there's a price I was happy with, one that works, just get it anyway. So that is my kind of more of a challenge, but I've got a lot better at it. So that's a habit I want to kind of keep reminding myself on, that cheap is good. It doesn't need to be cheapest, especially if it frees up more time for me just to relax and enjoy myself. So there you go, 9 habits for 2025 that I'm going to keep going, and maybe again something can help you when you are looking for things that you might want to change or keep doing throughout this year. My name is Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. Check out these videos here for more ways to make the most of your money.